Hello everyone, let's have the look about our today's lecture. Recently we have discussed human reproductive system, so today we will discuss human digestion. Human digestive system. When I say about human digestive system, what am I concerned with? Obviously it's digestion. So before moving deep into this topic, I would like to give you a brief introduction about myself. I am Mustaqim Manzoor. I have completed my Bachelor's of Science in Nursing and Honors from University of Kashmir. I have consistently maintained my academic excellence, graduating with distinction, and I have been a part of various seminars, debates, and presentations, of which I have earned various rewards and certificates, which also I can provide to you if you want that. So, let us speak about human digestive system. Before moving on to that, let's get a brief recap about what we have studied earlier. So, when you see how organisms reproduce, how humans evolved, how humans became multicellular complex beings from a single cell. So, you saw from further side by the process of meiosis and spermatogenesis, we got sperm, which was haploid. And from mother side, we got oogenesis, from which oocyte was formed. Oocyte or egg. These were both haploid. And when the coitus or copulation or intercourse took place, these two the sperms made its way to the ampulla junction, and they both fused together by a process known as fertilization. The two cells meet together and formed a diploid. And after that, we saw it entered into 2 cell stage, into 4 cell stage, into 8 cell stage, into 16 cell stage, into 32 cell stage. Then it formed morula, then blastocyst, then implantation took place. Then many other embryogenesis took place, then organogenesis took place. At last, the human beings were evolved. So when I say how human beings started at first, it started through cell, isn't it? So can I say that cell is the basic unit of life, as it's a statement? When we will be discussing the zoology portion of the cell biology, we will put a topic on that. So, let's see, we all are formed from cells. So cells is the basic unit of life. When similar cells came together to perform a certain task or function which had similar functions, which had similar structure, it's known as tissue. What's it known as? Tissue. Is the board visible? It's known as tissue. Cells, a group of cells coming together to perform similar functions, and these cells should be similar in size. These cells should be similar to each other. It forms a tissue. After that, when 2 or more tissues come together to perform a particular function, we say it is an organ. And then the organs came together, 2 or more organs came together to perform a major function of the body. It's known as organ system. When I say about, just remember this thing, cell, from cell you got tissue, from tissue you got organ, from organ you got organ system. So when I say as similar cells are coming together to perform similar functions, they form a tissue. So can I classify the tissues that are present in my body? Yes, obviously. It's classified into 4 types. Every single organ and every single organ system is made up of these 4 types of tissue in our body. What are these 4? First one, it is epithelial, epithelial tissue. Epithelial tissue. It will be a lining, it will be a covering to protect our organs. Then it will be connective tissue. Connective tissue. It's for support, it's for transport. Blood, it's a form of connective tissue. Adipose tissue, it's a form of connective tissue. Skeletal system, it's a form of connective tissue. Then we have muscular tissue. Muscular tissue. We can classify it into further types. Some will be under our control, some may not be under our control. So we can classify it into major two groups: voluntary and involuntary muscles. If we go on the structure, we can classify it into three types. These three types are very good. First one is skeletal muscle, then it is cardiac muscles, then it is smooth muscles. Smooth muscles are found in our intestines, our internal organs. Skeletal muscles attached to skeletal system. These are voluntary muscles. These are under my control. You can see this is under my control. My gut is not under my control. Isn't it? Gut is not under my control. It is made up of smooth muscles. When I go to the cardiac muscles, it is the specialized muscles that are present in our heart, as the name suggests. Cardiac muscles. When I will be doing muscular tissue, I will try my best to make you understand this muscular tissue. And after that, there is nervous tissue. Nervous tissue is for control and coordination among different parts of the body. See, when I talked about the organ system, they will perform major functions, but they will be dependent on each other and they will coordinate with each other to perform all of the necessary functions that I have to go through. So, is this clear? Is this clear? Hope you got to revise it for that. Now, let's move to organ system. I am trying to revise you all about the previous lectures that we had. See, I said you that the organ system performs the major functions of our body. So what are these major functions that our body does? In order that we are alive, in order that we are good, we are in a healthy state. So, the doctors, the researchers have classified these major functions into 11 groups. We will see them. What are these 11 groups? First one, circulatory system, or I can say cardiovascular system. Next one is reproductive. Write down these on your copy. Reproductive system. Third one. What is the third one? Nervous system. Respiratory system. I have to mention this respiratory system at the reproductive system. Hope you will understand. This is not the sequence. I will be following the sequence. I will show you the syllabus. Respiratory system. After that, very good, skeletal system. Then muscular system. Is the board visible? Muscular system. After that, there is endocrine system. After that, there is integumentary system. After that, there is lymphatic system. After that, there is, how many came? Cardiovascular, reproductive, nervous, respiratory, skeletal, muscular, endocrine, integumentary, lymphatic. Then we have urinary system. After that, endocrine I have written, urinary system. How many came? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Skeletal system, muscular system. And what is the last system? It is the digestive system which we have to study. And last one is digestive system. So today we are going to deal with the digestive system. We will deal whole of the digestive system in just one video. I will try to complete it in one video. So, have you copied all this? Have you copied? I will revise you once more. Cardiovascular system, second one is respiratory system, nervous system, muscular system, skeletal system, endocrine system, integumentary system, lymphatic system, respiratory system. I said the respiratory system, and then it is digestive system. Write it on the copies, huh? Now starting with the digestion. Let me give you a brief history about how humans came to know about the human digestive system. See, during 17th century there was an American doctor named, he was an American soldier doctor, his name, military doctor, his name was William Beaumont. And he is known as father of human gastric physiology. He got a patient. He has a fissure right here. Fissure is a hole. He has a hole opening in this area. And when he was watching the patient, he was seeing that he was able to visualize the gastric contents, and he used to do the experiments. He used to do the various experiments and made us to know what human digestion is, how human digestion takes place, what is the role of HCl. He used to put the food materials inside them and see them digested. So it is a brief history point of view, and his patient's name was Alexis Saint Martin. Alexis Saint Martin. So if you want, you can write this name. Now, starting with our real topic. Now our topic really begins. Human digestion. Can anybody tell me what digestion is? First, starting with the human digestive system, we will say about what digestion is. Digestion in actually means, you are not looking at me. Digestion actually means that this process by which the complex food particles are converted into simpler products that can be easily absorbed by blood. Very good. That is the definition of the digestion. You can write it on the copies. Now, starting with the digestion. It is a complex process. See, it's very complex process. When I say about the human digestive system, it's not like we are not living in Arabian Nights or some tales that the food is going to come directly into my mouth and it's going to swallow. No, it will not happen like that. I have to take the food by my own hand and introduce it into my mouth. I can't introduce it from any other parts. Right? Mouth is for eating food, it is for swallowing, it's for speaking. I can't take the food from other parts. So first thing would be, I would take the food, introduce it in my mouth. That will be the first step of digestion, which is known as ingestion. What is it known as? Ingestion. Process of taking food into the mouth. Into the mouth. That process is known as ingestion. There will be some person who will be a sociopath like me. I used to ask questions to everyone. What happens if the patient has no mouth? What happens if the patient is unconscious? These are the questions that will arise to my mind. So my dear, we are here dealing only with the normal physiology. We are not dealing with abnormal things. We are not dealing with the abnormal physiology. Yeah, if that is the situation, then we have different procedures for that. First one, NG-tube feeding, enteral nutrition. Enteral means wherever you see the word enteral, it means alimentary canal, your GI tract. There is NG-tube feeding, that is used. The tube goes directly into your nose and then bypasses the mouth, goes into the nose and moves directly into the stomach. That's NG tube. Then we have G tube, what is known as gastrotomy tube. Then we have J tube also. The food is directly introduced into the gastric region. If stomach is alright, then we have J tube. If stomach is not alright, then we introduce the food into the jejunum. Why not ileum? Because in ileum there is less absorption, there is less digestion. Minimum digestion is in ileum. In jejunum there is maximum absorption. So we introduce the food directly into the jejunum area. Then we have parenteral nutrition. Parenteral nutrition. Like we give it into the cancer patients. Last stage cancer which have, they require this type of nutrition. It is specialized food, specialized nutrition that is made in the labs. It includes two. First would be TPR, total peripheral nutrition, TPN, total peripheral nutrition. Another one is peripheral parenteral nutrition. TPN, large veins are selected and the food is directed, the nutrients are directed into the blood supplies, blood veins. And then PPN, peripheral nerves are used for this. Small amounts of food is given, in this large amount of food is given. And then we also have rectal feeding, also known as nutritional anemia. It is no longer now used as it is a source of infections and contaminations, and there is less absorption and it is not an convenient process. In medical field, we always prefer that process which is suitable for patient, both his in both physiological, metabolical, emotional, as well as expensive on economic terms. We suggest that. Now, where was I? I was on the ingestion. After ingestion, do not you look that the food has to move forward. The food, it has to move forward. It can't be on the mouth. It's not its ultimate destination. So what happens after ingestion? There is another process which is known as propulsion. Propulsion is the movement of food. When it was in mouth, it was food. When it is moving downwards, it becomes bolus. When it is in stomach, it becomes chyme. These are the names of the food. You have to remember it. I will make you understand in the further videos, and I will go on the digestion itself. Propulsion. Propulsion is the movement of the food from the mouth to the stomach via esophagus. Movement of food. After that, after the propulsion, there is, what is the next process? It is digestion. After the food moves forward, it has to be digested. This digestion will involve two processes. One will be mechanical digestion. Mechanical. Another one will be chemical digestion. See, you can't add acid to a large molecule and see it disintegrate. It will take an enormous amount of time. Our body hasn't that much time. So what it does, it mechanically breaks down the food by chewing, by stomach churning methods, and then it adds these gastric juices, these digestive enzymes to the food thoroughly, so that they are easily digested and absorbed by the blood. After the chemical digestion, there will be the process which is known as absorption. What will be the process? Absorption. Absorption is the taken of, we can say the absorption, it means to take the food by that was digested previously by the blood. Food taken by blood. Blood is like a highway. See, blood is like a highway that will supply this whole nutrition to the whole parts of the body in the form of glucose, in the form of glycogen, in the form of fatty acids, in the form of amino acids. The ultimate process of this digestion is to break down the food in carbohydrates, then convert it to glucose, then convert it to simpler carbohydrates, then proteins are converted into proteases, then amino acids and the fatty acids are obtained from this food. Vitamins are obtained, minerals are obtained, and body doesn't leave them. Vitamins are precious for the body. Body tries its best so that it retains these vitamins and minerals. After that, there will be the process known as assimilation. Assimilation is the process by which this food that is running into the bloodstream, it is taken by the cells. See, blood, as I previously said, the blood is a highway. The food doesn't have to require to, the food doesn't need to stop on the highway to always walk on the highway. It has to reach its particular destination. Suppose we in Kashmir, J&K Valley, we don't have the oranges from Nagpur. See, that moves on the highway and reaches here in a mandi, and there is where we get it is brought to the shops and we get it. Same is with the food. It travels by the highway, it is required where it is needed, it is delivered to that area, and if the area takes it, the consumer buys it. And then after that is a process which is known as excretion. See, there will be now some wastes that are left inside our body. Like I said, the example of the oranges, there will be peels of oranges, orange peels. There will be the boxes of oranges that we can't eat. What we do to them? We just throw them into the dustbin. If we have a good common civic sense, we throw them in the dustbin. Unfortunately, many of our the people don't have good civic sense. There's the process of excretion, removal of waste products. By body. How is it removed? It is removed in the form of phases. Is this clear? Is this clear? I will ask one by one. Is this clear? Okay. What are the steps that are involved in the human digestive system? First step was ingestion, very good. Second step was propulsion, then was digestion, then was absorption, then was assimilation, and after that was excretion. So when I see this human digestive system, I can divide it into two parts. Like I said, one would be the highway from where food will travel, and another would be the material that will be supported to it, that will be given to it, so that the digestion takes place effectively. So this is our alimentary canal, also known as GI tract. GI tract is known as gastrointestinal tract, and after that would be accessory organs that will be associated with it. Let me ask you a question first. Where does digestion takes place? I am saying about chemical digestion. Where does the chemical digestion take place? Stomach. It is the misconception among you. The digestion takes place both mechanical and chemical itself in the mouth, and we will look at it. First thing, after the process of ingestion, where was the food introduced? It was introduced in the mouth. So when I look at the structure of the mouth, I see there is a tongue, there are teeth, and there will be accessory organs associated with the mouth. See, I said there is tongue, there are teeth. Let us see, these teeth, they masticate the food, they help in chewing, grinding the food, tearing the food. so converting them into smaller products. And after that is tongue involves us, helps us to see the taste, feel the taste. I'm sorry to say that, see the taste, feel the taste. It helps us to swallow the food. It helps the saliva to mix thoroughly with the food. So let us look at about the teeth. What is the dental formula of a child? It's 2 1 0 2 divided by 2 1 0 2 2 1 0 2. How many it came? 2 1 3 4 5 5 5 10 10 10 20 teeth. This is the child. And after that, we see the dental formula for adults. It is 2 1 2 3. 2 1 2 3. 2 1 2 3. We will see in the video what this 2 is, what this 1 is, what this 2 is, what this 3 is. 32 teeth. In child we have 20 teeth. In adults we have 32 teeth. These are the sets of the permanent teeth. These are the sets of deciduous teeth that will shed itself. So these, when I look about, see, these are two incisors, one canine, incisors, canine. Has child a premolar? No, absolutely not. 0 premolars and 2 molars. Same here the case. 2 incisors, 1 canine, no premolars and 2 molars. Downwards in the lower jaw, the same is the configuration. In the upper jaw, same is the configuration. In adults, you see there are 2 incisors, 1 canine, 2 premolars and 3 molars. Premolars are also known as wisdom teeth because you get these premolars by the age of 21. Exactly, by the age of 21. And child starts, teeth bud starts to appear at the age of 6 months, and they lose their teeth by the age of 6 or 7 years, and they start to grow permanent teeth, which is completed by the age of 21. Sometimes it may be earlier, sometimes it may be late, but the average age is 21. You should remember that things. See, what is the work of the incisors? Cutting. What is the work of the canines? It's for tearing. For meat eaters, it is canines. And what is the work of premolars and molars? You see, these teeth are flat in shape. When you look at the incisors, this is like it. This one is sharp. You will see here, the upper part is known as enamel. See, it is for cutting. You can look at your incisors. It's for cutting. The other part inside the enamel, it's dentine. After that, this is the pulp, and it is the root of the tree, root of the teeth. I'm sorry to say that. After that, there is canine. Canine is like it. It is sharp. Use it for tearing. This is canine. And when you look at premolars and molars, it are like this. This is your premolars. As you see the shape, it is for chewing, it is for grinding the food into softer products. These are the teeth. After that, we will come to about, this teeth is clear to you. We will now go to tongue. And we will see how the chemical digestion takes place in mouth. After that, there is tongue. Let us make a rough image of tongue here. This is your tongue. The front part, it's known as apex. The middle part, it is the body. and the part where it is located, where it is linked with the mouth and the pharynx, it is known as base of the tongue. What are the three parts of the tongue? Apex, body, base of the tongue. And the upper, this part, it is known as dorsum. And the lower part, it is known as ventral surface of the tongue. Ventral surface of tongue. You will see it has many blood vessels inside it and various nerves that are inside it. We move the tongue into two directions. I can curl my tongue, I can wrap my tongue, I can put it straight. This is done by the intrinsic muscles, and the extrinsic muscles do the posterior movements of the tongue. See, like that. This is done by exterior muscles, extrinsic muscles. It is done by the intrinsic muscles of the tongue. So when I look, I will this ventral surface of the tongue. I have said that it has various blood supplies, blood vessels, and the medicines which have to work very effectively and have to be given by mouth are given at this surface, which is known as sublingual. And here we can measure the temperature of a person also, what is known as oral temperature. So moving on to dorsum. When I see this dorsum, you will see, you can check your tongue on a mirror. You will see there are rough like appearances. Your tongue appears rough in structure. Why is it? Because it contains piliform, fungiform. Just remember these. If you want a detailed explanation about this structure, we can make a video on it. Fungiform, circumvallate, and foliate. These are the papillae that are found in the tongue, which makes the tongue its rogue structure. Papillae in the tongue. These all are papillae. Now it is classified into four: filiform, fungiform, circumvallate, and foliate. Just for the time being, remember the filiform, it has no taste buds. Fungiform, taste buds are present. Circumvallate, taste buds are present. Foliate, taste buds are present. And this foliate, it is more in abundance, and circumvallate more in abundance in children. Now we see about the tastes. There are different tastes. First thing, how many tastes are there? 4. A person is saying 4. Now there are not 4 tastes, there are 5 tastes. First taste is, what is the first taste? Sweet. Then it is salt, salty. Then it is sour. Then it is bitter. And after that, another taste that is known as unami. See, the front portion, apex portion, has the fungiform papillae, which detects the sweet taste. At the anterior portion, there are taste buds for salt. At the lateral sides, there are the taste buds for, this is for sour, this is for salty, this is for sweet. Same here, sour, salty, and at the last there is the taste bud for bitter. Now where is the unami? Unami is associated with the whole of tongue. It is present all over the tongue. And what is the best example for that? Many of you like Maggie, I think. Many of the persons like Maggie, I think. The Maggie has a compound in it. That is MSG. Glutamate, MSG. And this taste bud detects the MSG compound. That's why it is special, and you get addicted to the Maggie. If you eat once, twice, thrice, you get addicted to it. This is the compound that makes you addicted. Now I am not going deep into it. We have to go through the accessory organs. The accessory organs that are associated with mouth are parotid gland. Next one is sublingual gland, submandibular gland. Sublingual gland are present outside the mouth. It is used for absorption of the saliva and absorption of the various drugs that we take in the sublingual route. Now, and it also secretes saliva. See, 70% of the saliva is secreted by submandibular gland, and 50% of the saliva is secreted by parotid gland. You should remember these things. Now, are the accessory organs clear? Which are the accessory organs? Now, let us look at the digestion that is going to take place inside the mouth. See, these glands are secreting saliva. What does saliva contains? It contains water and some gastric enzymes, like we have salivary amylase. And it also contains some monocytes. It also contains some macrophages which destroy the bacteria, and it makes this saliva is slightly acidic in nature, and it makes the pH of mouth around 5.6 to 7.4, because these enzymes, it will work in acidic medium and slightly acidic medium. What does the salivary amylase contain? It contains ptyalin. What does this ptyalin do? It actually takes up the carbohydrates in your mouth and it converts them into maltose. Maltose is a sugar. What is maltose? It is a sugar. And you see why sugar is associated with the diabetes. This is the reason why sugar is associated with the diabetes. Sugar is associated with the diabetes. I mean, carbohydrates are associated with the diabetes. Have you seen when you eat a bread for a long time, it turns sweet? Eh? Many of you have seen this. When you eat it, just try once. Take a bread in your mouth and start chewing it for a long time. Don't digest it, just chew it. You will see after some time it will turn sweet. It will feel sugary in nature. That is because the carbohydrates that were present in the bread were changed into maltose, which is a sugar. This is the digestion that takes place. Also, some of the lipids are also digested, but they are in minute numbers. So that's why we don't take this. We did take only this. The ptyalin converts the carbohydrates into the maltose. Have you understood this? Now let's move to the next part. Now, what will we do? There will be voluntary and involuntary movements that will pass the food from the mouth to the stomach, because it has to reach the stomach. Stomach is its next stop. It has to reach the stomach. So what does it do? Our tongue swallows the food. It is under voluntary control, and after that there is vagus nerve stimulation. The parasympathetic activity takes place, which allows the food. Now it is not food, it is bolus. I will be talking about bolus. It is bolus. Food that is digested in the mouth, partially digested in the mouth, it is termed as bolus. The bolus moves from oropharynx, moves downwards to the food pipe, also known as esophagus or esophagus. Mouth, I was talking about mouth. Where was I? Food pipe or esophagus. See, when the food moves through our oropharynx, it reaches downwards to the laryngopharynx. There is the epiglottis. Whenever you eat food, you can't breathe at that time because the epiglottis is closed, so that the food doesn't travel through the windpipe. It goes directly into the food pipe. So there is a sphincter there also. Sphincter, it is just like a wall, but it is a circular formation. It is not that much supportive as a wall. We have sphincters here. The first sphincter between pharynx and esophagus is called upper esophageal sphincter. This is the first sphincter that a food will pass through. See, it's like it. The sphincter, it is closed. Look at it. Sphincter, it is closed. It sees the food. There is vagus nerve stimulation. The muscles relax and the sphincter opens, and the food travels forward. And then after, There are smooth muscles, as I clearly said. There will be smooth muscles around this. There will be epithelium, which will be made, which will make up this whole digestive system. See what happens. This is a food particle. See, put the camera right here. This is a food particle, and by the movement of peristalsis, the food particles are moving forward by continuous contraction and relaxation of the food pipe or esophagus. See, like that, it is moving forward. See what happens in the esophagus. This is food particle. It is pushed downwards by this contraction forces, and then this becomes normal and this enlarges. Snake-like movements, aren't it? These are snake-like movements, and it moves downwards. And then after it reaches the lower limit and it crosses the diaphragm like this. See, just it is diaphragm. This is food pipe. And here it will make an upward turn. See, here it will make an upward turn so that the food, it does not, you are eating in mix, you can eat. See what happens, there's an upward turn. This doesn't allow food to travel back. See this, is it visible? And here you have another sphincter in this area that is known as lower esophageal sphincter. Esophageal sphincter. What's the another name for it? Cardiac sphincter. You have seen in many films that the hero is sometimes, or the family of the hero is sometimes saying that they have a heart attack, our heart is hurting, right here it is located. So we say it is a cardiac burn. He missuggests this symptoms as a symptoms for a myocardial infarction, or what we know as heart attack, but actually it is not. What it is actually, it is a acid reflux that is taking place, because the location is same. Right here this sphincter is located, right here this sphincter is located, and we feel that our heart hurts, but actually it is the stomach, it is the issue with the stomach, the acid reflux that takes place. So hope you remember this cardiac sphincter. It is just like an opening, just the food passes inside it, it closes. Now it will not allow the food to travel back, or what we say as regurgitation. It prevents regurgitation. Yeah, but sometimes in the medulla oblongata there will be some stimuluses that will encourage the food to regurgitate back. And if we stimulate the downwards of our pharynx, then we can stimulate, we can do this regurgitation can take place. So hope you understand this cardiac sphincter, function of this cardiac sphincter. Can we move on to the stomach? Let's move. So where was I? I told you about this cardiac sphincter, lower esophageal sphincter. Now I will be talking about the difference between these two. See, the upper esophageal sphincter, it is more like an anatomical sphincter, and the lower esophageal sphincter, cardiac sphincter, it is more like as physiological sphincter or functional sphincter. It acts like a valve here, but on the upper side it is just a circular ring, but down it acts like a valve, cardiac sphincter. And see, when I am saying about the openings, I will use the term orifice. What I will use the term? Orifice. Orifice is the opening. I will make a rough diagram of the digestive system. This is our stomach. The accessory organs that will be associated with it are pancreas, and there would be liver. See, is this diagram visible on the camera? I said about the orifices. What does the word orifice means? It means opening. So when I look at the stomach, there will be two openings here. One is the cardiac opening, that is here. It is known as cardiac orifice. And another opening is here. It is known as pyloric orifice, because it is present in the pylorific region. Let's learn about this you are seeing the structure. Here it is the lesser curvature. This is part is known as lesser curvature. Curvature. You see it is concave in size, concave in shape. And this is greater curvature. It is convex in greater curvature. It is convex in shape. And it is covered by omentum. See, when I do the parts of the stomach, this part, it is known as cardia. Where the cardiac orifice is located, where the cardiac sphincter is located, it is known as cardia. Then we have fundus. Then it is the body, which is also known as corpus. And after that, it is the pyloric region. Pyloric region. The front part, you see, it is wider part. It is known as pyloric antrum. And this part, which is narrower here, it is known as pyloric region or pyloric canal. This part is known as pyloric canal, this part is known as pyloric antrum, this part is known as body or corpus, this part is known as fundus, and this part is known as cardia. These are the parts of the stomach. You should remember this. Come on, revise with me. The first part, just below the cardiac orifice, in which the cardiac orifice and cardiac sphincter are located and which is connected with the esophagus. This part is known as cardia. Next one is the fundus. Third one is the body, and fourth one is the pyloric region, where it is divided into two parts. One is pyloric antrum and another one is pyloric canal. So am I able to understand? After that, what are orifices? These are the openings. In stomach you will see these are two openings here. One is cardiac orifice, another is pyloric orifice. And when you see the stomach, it is J-shaped organ, isn't it? The shape, it is J-shaped. Now, due to vagus stimulation, due to the parasympathetic activity, these muscles that are located in the stomach, that will converge into the movements. That will do like this. This is a bag. It will like do this. This. It will like do this. It will contract and relax, thus doing the churning of the food, making the food to churn. And this is done by the parasympathetic stimulation. Which nerve is associated with it? Vagus nerve. Is this clear? Parasympathetic stimulation is there, vagus nerve is stimulated, the stomach, the smooth muscles present in the stomach are doing the contractions and the relaxations. Now we're looking at the digestion that will take place inside the stomach. Let us go brief. When we see food, doesn't our stomach start to secrete the acids? You have seen the people with the acid reflux, after seeing the food, they start to get this acidity in the stomach. Why is it? Because of the phases. The nervous system, it is the part of the nervous system that will do. The first phase would be cephalic phase. On seeing the food. On seeing the food, your vagus nerve is stimulated, parasympathetic activity is there, and which instigates the antrum part of the stomach to release, where they are located, the G cells, which release gastrin. It will cause the parietal cells of the stomach to release more and more HCl, and it will also release the mucus after seeing the food. See, is this clear? Can I have it? I was on the cephalic phase. First, I will complete these phases. The first phase will be cephalic phase. On the seeing of the food, the vagus stimulation is there, parasympathetic activity is there, and the food and the G cells, they start to secrete the gastrin, somatostatin is secreted, and histamines are secreted, and after that it will enter into the gastric phase. Well, again, there will be the stimulation of the G cells, and this will be maintained by the parasympathetic activity. But after some time, the parasympathetic activity would decrease and the sympathetic activity would increase. Thus, this parasympathetic activity, it was increasing the gastric motility. This parasympathetic activity will increase the gastric motility. But this parasympathetic activity, it will decrease the gastric motility. And after that gastric phase, after the food is in the stomach, after that it will move into another phase. After 2 to 3 hours, it will move into another phase that is known as intestinal phase. Intestinal phase. Is the board clear? Very much clear it is. So make a rough notes on it. This is lesser curvature. That is the cardiac region. That is the fundus region. That is the body. That is the cardia. That is the pyloric region. Pyloric region is divided into two parts: pyloric antrum and pyloric canal. This is the greater curvature, and it is covered by omentum, peritoneum and omentum. Can you give me the answer of this question? What is the covering of abdominal cavity called? Just while I am rubbing the board, give me the answer about this question. This mechanical digestion you have understood. Am I clear? The smooth muscles, the circular, longitudinal, and transverse muscles that are present in the stomach are doing contractions and relaxations. That is making the food to churn. That is breaking down the food with the HCl and the intrinsic factors that are present and the chief cells which secrete. What do they secrete? What do they secrete? They secrete pepsinogen. Is that clear? See, now here you see the coordination between the digestive system and the nervous system. Nervous system is doing the parasympathetic and the sympathetic activity, that is in turn enhancing or decreasing our gastric system. See, now in brief I will be talking about I will be talking about these secretions that will take place in the stomach for the chemical digestion. See, there will be different types of cells that will be present. First, the mucus cells, also known as goblet cells or mucus cells. What does they secrete? What does they secrete? Mucus. What is the use of this mucus? See, stomach is going to turn into acidic medium. If the mucus is not there, the acidic medium in the stomach will digest the stomach itself. That's why we need mucus. It is a protective covering. Protective covering. After that, when the mucus is wholly secreted in the stomach, then there will be the parietal cells. What is another name of parietal cells? What is the other name of the parietal cells? Oxyntic cells. They will secrete. What they will secrete? They will secrete HCl, hydrochloric acid, which will make the stomach acidic in medium, and the pH level of stomach would raise to 1.5 to 2.5. It will be the pH range of the stomach. That is why we feel acid burns in the stomach. We feel acidity in the stomach. And after that, another thing they will secrete. What is that thing? It is intrinsic factors. Intrinsic factor. What is this intrinsic factor used for? It is used to absorb B12, vitamin B12. Because vitamin B12 cannot be absorbed by our body itself. It needs intrinsic factor so that it gets absorbed. If the parietal or oxyntic cells are destroyed, The HCl, that will not be present. If suppose HCl is present and the intrinsic factor is not there, vitamin B12 will never be absorbed by our stomach. It is absorbed in the ileum part. Where is it absorbed? In the ileum part. It will never be absorbed in the ileum part, and we will develop pernicious anemia. Pernicious anemia. What is the another type of cell that is present in the stomach? Can you name it? Chief cells. Also known as zygogenic cells. What they secrete? Pepsinogen. See, this pepsinogen is an inactivated enzyme. That means it requires a catalyst to get formed into an enzyme. So what is the catalyst here? The catalyst is HCl itself. It works in an acidic medium and it gets converted into pepsin. What is the work of pepsin? What is the work of pepsin? It digests proteins. Digestion of proteins will take place. Another important question I would ask, does absorption take place in the stomach? No, absolutely not. Digestion, absorption doesn't take place in the stomach itself. So pepsin converts the proteins into amino acids, and if we see about the digestion of the carbohydrates, there is minimal digestion of the carbohydrates, and if we see about the digestion of the fatty acids or lipids, there is minimal digestion of fatty acids and lipids in the stomach. These are some cells, and in antrum part of the stomach there are present G cells. What are the cells present? G cells. These are anterior endocrine cells. Anterior means intestines in the GI tract. Anterior endocrine cells which secrete gastrin. Gastrin is a hormone which is required to maintain the parasympathetic activity, to maintain the gastric motility. After some time there will be somatostatin that will come, and that will decrease the gastric cells, G cells. It will inhibit the G cells. And after that, this whole food, it was bolus. In the esophagus it was bolus. In stomach, while entering stomach, it was bolus. Now it is mixed thoroughly in the stomach. It has now become chyme. What is the name of the food in the stomach? It is chyme. It is formed into chyme. After that, the pyloric sphincter, it is also an functional sphincter. It will open. It will start to open. Like this. It will start to open. It will allow the food to pass into the, where it will allow? It will allow the food to pass into the intestines. The food will move downwards into the intestines, and there will be secretin which will be secreted by the S cells of the intestines and cholecystokinin. CSK. Remember, so secretin is secreted and cholecystokinin is secreted, and histamine was also secreted when it was in the cephalic phase. Histamine was secreted by anterior chromoferin cells. Chromoferin cells. Make a rough copy this onto your notebooks and make a rough table for that. Okay, if you have any problem, you can ask the questions right now. Can I move forward? Can I move forward? Have you copied? Can I erase it now?
Tabii.
We have to get a next new board for this. Where? Now where is the food? It is in the intestinal part. See what happens in the intestine as soon as the food reaches the intestine. This is the pyloric sphincter and it is the duodenum part of the intestine. It going a bit lengthy, huh? I think. See what happens here. This is pancreas, and this is here liver. This is gallbladder here. See what happens as soon as the food enters this pancreas. This I mean to say this duodenum. What happens here is the bile starts to pouring it from right hepatic duct. Another question I would like to ask you: where is bile formed? It is not formed in gallbladder. It is formed in liver and it is stored in gallbladder. See what happens. There is the from right and left lobule. There comes right hepatic duct, left hepatic duct. It pours its secretion into the gallbladder and there it forms a cystic duct. From cystic duct, it moves into the common bile duct, CBD, and after that it moves here into the pancreatic duct where they both form an opening into the stomach which is known as ampulla of Bader. What is it known as? Ampulla of Bader. It is regulated by a sphincter also known as sphincter of Oddi. Here it is sphincter of Oddi. In duodenum part the maximum digestion takes place. See, this is the pancreas. From pancreas, as pancreas is both endocrine and an exocrine gland, from its exocrine point of view there are specialized ducts that are coming inside this pancreatic duct and moving towards the ampulla of Bader, which is also known as the hepatopancreatic duct, and it pours its secretion along with the bile into this duodenum part. And why bile is required? Because it makes the medium. It was in the acidic medium in the stomach. Now it makes the medium a little bit alkaline in nature, which is 7.6 to 8. It makes the medium alkaline in nature, which is required for the pancreatic enzymes to work. As the food, as the chai moves here, what happens right here is there is digestion of lipids, carbohydrates by pancreatic enzymes, also known as pancreatic lipase. Bile doesn't contain any such enzymes, digestive enzymes. It just makes the duodenum alkaline in nature. It has pancreatic lipases which convert the fats into fatty acids. It has pepsinogen. It has pancreatic amylases. It converts carbohydrates into sugar, glucose. These are the enzymes that are secreted by the pancreas. Pancreas also secretes via islets of Langerhans. It secretes insulin, glycogen, and many other enzymes. It also secretes which are endocrinic in nature, and these enzymes are exocrinic in nature. So the food moves through this duodenum part. It moves into the jejunum. Next part is jejunum, and after that is ileum. Remember the parts of the small intestine: jejunum, duodenum, jejunum, and ileum. See, in jejunum, maximum absorption takes place. It has a rough structure which is known as villi. Like this it is. See, if it was a straight line, its surface area would have been much more less. Like you see, the Indo-Bangladesh border. Why is it the longest border? Because of the rough structure it has, because of the curvature it has. It is the longest border between India and any other country. This curvature increases the surface area. It has the blood vessels like here, which take about the nutrients, which take all of the nutrients to it inside it, and these nutrients move into the bloodstream and are delivered to the various parts. After the food moves into the jejunum, the food goes into the ileum part. We can discuss the pancreas and liver in the next video. After the food moves into the jejunum, it will move into the ileum part, and after ileum there is only the absorption of some vitamins and minerals, and water is absorbed, which I said that the parietal cells of stomach were secreting what were they secreting? Intrinsic factor. So this intrinsic factor is required here. It will absorb the vitamin B12, and after that here it will join the large intestine by a wall known as ileocacial wall, and here it is vermiform appendix. I have a little complaint with the science, or I can say I have a little. I'm not pleased with the science. The functions they don't know. They say that the organ is vestigial. Has no functions, and it was a vestigial organ for many years, unless the science discovered that it is the area where the lymphoid tissue is situated. It helps to prevent the infection and also acts as a reservoir for the gut bacteria which are located in the intestines. So you're not looking. Please have a look at it and see if the video is correct. From the ileocacial wall, the food moves into the large intestine. Large intestine has no digestive function. It just absorbs water and minerals from the food and makes it I can say a tough in nature, makes it dry in nature. So what happens here? I was talking about the vermiform appendix. It is a reservoir for the gut bacteria, and in this, these are located the good bacteria that are required for us. One is Escherichia coli. Another one, can you name someone? Escherichia coli. Then there is Streptococcus Enterobacter aerogenes. After that, there is the next one, which is called the Streptococcus facialis. After that, there is Clostridium fringens. These are some of the bacteria that are located in this area, in the intestinal area. Escherichia coli, Enterobacter aerogenes, Streptococcus facialis, and Clostridium fringens. Clostridium perfringens. Clostridium perfringens. PERF. So when you look at this, these are some of the good bacteria that are present here. But if they are located in the stomach, in the intestines, these are good bacteria. Suppose if it moves to the urinary area, into the kidneys, they will form cystitis. They will do their pathogenic nature. So these bacteria help and aid in the digestion. That is what is the work of the vermiform appendix. It acts as a reservoir for this area, and sometimes it becomes inflamed, and that is the that is the thing where the things start to get nasty. Uh, where was I? Vermiform appendix. After that, the food moves into the caseum. This is the caseum region. After that, food moves into the ascending colon, then transverse colon, then into the descending colon. After that, what happens in this large intestine? The water is absorbed, the minerals are absorbed, and sometimes there is not enough absorption of the water. There is not enough absorption of the minerals. That is the reason we get diarrhea. What we say diarrhea. We get diarrhea. The faces that have more water concentration, that have more electrolyte concentration, and we are losing the water. That is why ORS is required in the treatment of diarrhea. So the food moves into the descending colon. Look at the camera, the cameraman, please. Look at this area. The food moves into the transverse, into the descending colon. After that, it moves into the rectum area. After that, it moves into the rectum area. After that, it moves into the anus, and it is removed from the body. And there are two sphincters located here. One is the internal anal sphincter, and there is the external anal sphincter. The internal anal sphincter, it is involuntary in nature. It can't be controlled by our will, but the external anal sphincter is controlled by our will. Whenever the feces move to the internal anal sphincter, we have an urge to defecate. After that, it reaches to the external anal sphincter. which is under our control, and we get this toilet control out where we have to defecate. And sometimes the people with the neurological problems, they don't have the control over these sphincters. That is why they defecate sometimes without knowing, properly knowing, without having the proper gut control, bowel control. I hope everything is clear. The pancreas, the liver are clear, and the next video will be on the pancreas and the liver. Any questions? I have to, so I'm really very much sorry that I have to wind up very early, because this video was getting too long. So, any questions? No one? Thank you for your precious time with me. I hope to see you in the next video. Thank you.